Seek the answers. Just like you saw in the beginning of that thumbnail, there's a question mark. And what that question mark represents and that lamp above it is that you need to turn this light bulb on in here, get that thought process going, answer the questions, and seek it. Sometimes what you seek can be found in the most unlikely places. So don't ever stop searching for what you want. You just might find it when you least expect it. That's the description for this video. The title, Seek the Answers. The thumbnail, the question mark, the light above it. Shining light on those questions and what you seek. Sometimes you're going to find it in the most unlikely places. I used to drive down this highway right where I live every day. I go up and down this highway every day, right? And I would always see this lady walking. She had bags, on a cart, very nice, well dressed, but would walk that highway back and forth. Sometimes I would see her, sometimes I wouldn't. And I always wondered in my mind, like, wow, where's she going? What's she doing? Who is this person? Years down the road, I'm working a job, and I have to go in between on my lunch break, whatever, to the bank. Lo and behold, guess who's there? That same lady I seen walking. I walk up, say hi. She says, yeah, the bank's still not open. I'm waiting outside too. So I said, okay. Went back, waited in the truck. Then once the doors open, I went into the bank, did what I had to do, went back to work. Sometime down the road, later on again. Now these are, when I mean sometimes down the road, these are intervals, like long intervals. They're not like, I like how I would say 2-3 days and I see, no, this isn't right. Long in between. At this time, I was going through a lot of things. I had a lot of questions. Felt like I was, when you try to do creative work or get your message across, or a lot of times what writers would call this would be writer's block. And you feel like you hit that wall. You need that spark, that creativity again. And I had this in my head and questions were going. Now, leaving the job I was working, coming back on that same highway again. Lo and behold, guess who I see? It's a little bit raining out, but I know it's always that same cart with a whole bunch of totes on it, and it looks like maybe things that are obviously very important to her that she keeps with her. And it was raining, windy, a little bit cold that day. Seeing her walking on that same highway. It's a pretty big shoulder. You could walk on it, and on this main highway is a lot of stores, gas stations, hotels. You get the idea. Something told me inside, you gotta stop. Just out of nowhere. And right there was kind of like this little office door. I pulled right in, got out, put my hood on, and started walking. And just walked. Make this long story short, I sat down with this woman. At first, he was like, whoa. Like, anyone would be nervous. Someone comes out and said, hey, I seen you. Something gave me the urge to stop and talk to you. I don't know what it was. And after all the energies calmed down, you would never believe I found a lot of answers that I was searching for through that person. I was walking on the highway, raining, cars passing by, having a great conversation where everything just stopped. It was just focused, answering questions. She's answering my questions, going back and forth. Like none of that existed. But at that moment, I got questions to answers that I was seeking in the most unlikeliest places. On the side of a highway, with a woman with some toads walking that I've seen numerous times. And let me tell you something. It was very, very intelligent. Went through a hard life. Accomplished many, many things. Gave me some profound advice, wisdom, and knowledge. And we also shared some laughs. And I think she's been alone for a long time. But that laughter, I'm sure she'll never forget in that moment. Point to this story is, you never know who's who. Don't judge anyone at all, at any time. Could be someone that you least expect will give you the questions to the answers you seek. How do you not know whatever you believe in that higher power is using certain people as vessels to get a certain message or question across to you that you were trying to seek. Person might just stop and say, look, I just had to tell you this or say something. That was that urge. Or the other person, you hear a lot about this in testimony, that they were maybe asking, let's use for example, they believe in God or whatever you believe in, that higher being, a spirit. They called to him, and the least unexpected way they got that answer, and it blew their mind. And then the other person might see them so emotional, like, are you okay? What's wrong? You never believe I was asking for that answer. I received it. The other end I would like to tell you is always be open. Because if you're in a closed off mentality, you won't be able to experience things like this. I remember sitting on that highway. Didn't matter how cold it was, the rain, people honking, passing, maybe thinking we're nuts. But were we nuts? Or are they nuts? Because they don't realize what is in between. Little poem of rhyme for you. You figure that one out. So seek those answers. Always remember this. I read you that description. Sometimes you can find that the answer to your questions in the most unlikeliest places. Sometimes it could be within you. Sometimes it could just be, who knows, person behind you in line. You strike up a conversation, they come out with something you would have never believed. You just never know. I'm telling you. Always keep your mind open. Never judge. Be humble. I got a couple more points I want to hit before we set off on this video. Another thing that she said to me that blew my mind was, I was saying I was kind of hitting a block. And her herself, the person that I met, was an author, fashion designer and all this. Went through some hard times. And had her own businesses and all of this stuff. And I asked her and I said, sometimes I just feel like I'm in a block. She says, give me this example that was so profound and I'm going to leave you with it. She goes, I can tell you about a dish over and over. This magnificent dish. Maybe other people know about this dish and this food. And until you taste it, you'll never know what it tastes like or to experience it or feel it. By going off other people. And at that moment, I just... See how I stopped, was telling you what it was? It was just like that. I stopped hearing everything and it was like, poof, oh my gosh. If you truly want to achieve something, you have to immerse yourself in it fully. From top to bottom, bottom to top. Not halfway, not a quarter of a way, none of that. If you want to do something, go at it 100%, whatever it is. And I guess what I'm saying is that don't go off what you think it might be or how it might be, or get all the advice and everything you can and how you want to change and or whatever it is within your life. But if you never implement it, it's just like she said, you never tasted it, so you don't know. You're going off your own assumptions and other people's assumptions. And one more. He said, there's a lot of opportunities out there for you, but you are not knocking on that door. And I was like, knocking on the door? He says, you got to knock first. That way someone could open. That way you can receive what it is you're meant to receive. Now, to leave you with that one, I'm still questioning that. But I'll figure it out when the time is right. Just like you in your life. You're going to figure out a lot of things. Some things will leave you pondering. But at the right moment, you'll have that aha moment. I got it. Take care, everybody. Many blessings. And remember this. Never stop, like we have here, seeking those answers to the questions that you have within here and within here. Take care.